Welcome. My name is Mr. Kaiser. I'm here to talk to you about an option for a class for you next year. This is Math 3, Machining and Manufacturing. All right, so I want to talk about what's involved in that class and why you should take it. This is going to give you a Math 3 credit. It's also going to give you a career and technical education elective credit. So you've taken an auto shop class, or you've taken a geoconstruction type class, engineering. This is another one of those credits for you towards graduation. It's a double period class, so you'll be meeting periods 4 and 5, for example, where you'll always have 2 periods, 2 teachers, and 2 separate grades for the class. And lastly, kind of want to talk about the option that this is really a head start for your future. It's a very career-oriented class for you. So one of the other bonuses to this class is that it is a dual credit course with Oakton Community College. So the idea here is that you're going to be able to earn college credit, which will go with you anywhere you go to school while you're still in high school, and it's free of charge to you. Here, we're going to be able to learn how to set up and operate industrial grade high-tech CNC equipment. We've got a mill and a lathe that you'll be using, as well as some other common machine shop tools and equipment. So the idea here also is that we're going to get you out in the field and take a look at what's going on in local machine shops and trade shows in our community, so you can see the career opportunities that you can have, less than 10 miles from home. We'll also be offering the opportunity to get some certifications through NIMS, which is the National Institute for Metalworking Skills. Some of the projects we work on, we have a CNC dog tag here, for example. Students are going to write the code to carve their initials into that dog tag. You can see some good examples, some bad examples. Students will have to rework their code and their project in order to get it to turn out just right. On the lathe, one of the first things we make is a CNC top. They're metal tops that spin really well. Students design them in Inventor, which is a 3D design software, and then we take the code from Inventor and put it into the machine and cut these out. These are all projects you need to keep, share with your friends and family, take home. We're going to write the code by hand for a set of Cnc Metal Dice. They work just like any regular dice, but they're heavy. They're made out of metal, and you guys are going to design all the code that goes into those. We have a wallet here, a CNC wallet or card holder that can hold your cash, hold cards, etc. On the back side of it there, we're going to carve in a logo or a design of your choice. These make great gifts, so they're just great to carry. And one of the last projects we make is a Cnc Meat Tenderizer. So the handle gets turned in the lathe, and the spikes and things get carved in and cut in on the CNC mill. Lastly is an example of a desktop organizer some students have worked on, where they're going to come up with a project of their own that meets their own needs. And if we have time, we're going to cut those out for you as well. So students who really grasp the concepts and get motivated to work through the projects that we have might have time to design some of their own work. It's a fun, hands-on, engaging class that's very career-oriented, using the tools and equipment you're going to find in local manufacturing companies and facilities. And we're excited to offer that to you guys.
Hi, my name is Mr. Schultes, and I'm the math teacher for the Math 3 and Machining class. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about the math behind the Math 3 and Machining. But first, I just wanted to show you guys a quick clip of the video that's inserted in the first slide. You're going to have access to the links, so if you wanted to watch this a little bit more in detail, you're welcome to. But I thought it'd be worth showing everybody just what it is that you're going to be learning about. These are CNC machines that are sometimes worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, and you're going to learn to program them in order to make various parts. Now, what this machine is doing is taking a piece of raw material, or aluminum in this case, and creating a skull from it. Now, this is a very advanced machine, and programming it would take quite a lot of knowledge, but it is pretty neat what can be created with these machines. So you can check this out if you want a little bit more in detail. So we do have the machines that are capable of doing things like that skull. And as Mr. Kaiser pointed out, you're going to be learning some basic projects just to kind of get you learning a little bit about machining and manufacturing. If you're also interested, on the second slide, there is a video that is linked there that the district made that talks also more about the class in detail. That might be something that if you are considering the class, you might want to watch that or share it with your parents as well. I'm going to jump to talking a little bit more about Math 3, which is right here. So guys, all of the math that you're going to be learning, and it is going to be Math 3. You all are going to take Math 3 next year in one way, shape, or form. So if you're interested in learning more about machining and manufacturing, if you're interested in seeing how math really applies in the real world, this might be a really good option for you. When I say you're going to apply math in the real world, I'm not just talking about in this class, we're going to do word problems that talk about math and machining. I'm talking about you will actually need to do the math correctly in order for your project to come out how you intended it. I think Mr. Kaiser shared a slide where he showed a few dog tags, and some of them were good and some of them weren't so good. And if you don't do the math correctly, well, then it's not going to turn out the way you want it. So a student, and I'll share his video, will talk about how learning math is a little bit easier when you need to do it correctly in order to have something turn out the way you want it. And that's kind of what this class is about. Every project that we do, there's math behind, and we need to apply those Math 3 concepts and skills in order for those projects to turn out correctly. Why might you choose this class? Again, there's great opportunity in machining and manufacturing, all within about a 10-mile radius of your home. There's a lot of people who are machinists that are retiring at the moment, and they cannot find good quality people to take their place. So what companies are doing in the area is they're paying kids right out of high school to go to work, and they're paying them to go to school. Yes, they pay you to go to school. They're going to pay for your education. You wouldn't have to worry about any kind of college debt. And not only that, you'd have a guaranteed job waiting for you. I would imagine that if you told that to your parents, they'd probably freak out and not believe it, especially in today's economy. But it is true. There are opportunities here where not only do you get paid to go to school, but then it's a guaranteed job that you might be really, really interested in. So I want to make it clear that if you're choosing this class, it's not like you're choosing to be a machinist or somebody that gets into manufacturing for your job. It's just an opportunity to learn Math 3 and also how it applies in manufacturing and machining, and maybe it piques your interest for after high school, and maybe it doesn't, and that's fine. You still can go on to do whatever it is that you'd like to do. Again, if you like to work with your hands, you want to know how things are made, and you want to apply math and see why you really need to do math correctly, this is a great opportunity. And I will say you have to be somebody that enjoys a challenge, because a lot of times when you're doing things that are unique or new or applying math in the real world, it's not as cut and dry and as maybe neat as it's going to be when you're doing math just on pencil and paper in a math class. So you got to be somebody who also enjoys a little bit of a challenge. Here's what a few different students say. Again, I will make sure that you get these links in case it is hard to hear. You're first going to hear from Kingston. What do you like best about the class, or why might somebody want to join this class?
I like this class best because the math part of it isn't that hard. It's not going through all the stuff that you're really not going to need to know for the future. Like, you're using this math that you learn and putting it into stuff you make. So like if you want to carve in your initials or something, that you're doing the math that you're learning in the math portion into the machining portion. And that's kind of, I find that
So Kingston, just to kind of ad-lib what he had said, it's kind of cool because the math you're learning goes right into the projects that you're building. Here's Luann. So what do you like best about this class? Why might somebody want to join it?
So I like this class because you get to build everything that is behind products. Like, we build different parts with like specific machines, And I personally liked it because I like coding. So if you really like coding and building things, this is really the classroom.
Sweet.
So it might have been hard to hear Luann, but she said she really likes coding and she really liked the coding aspect of the class. Finally, O'Neill. So why might somebody join this class versus another class?
Because this class is a very hands-on class, which makes it easier for you to learn math because you're using it in real life stuff.
So O'Neill argues that it's easier to learn the math because you're using it in real life stuff as well. So thank you guys for taking the time to watch this short introduction to Math 3 and machining and manufacturing. I hope that if it piqued your interest, you're going to talk to your teacher about it. You can also reach out to Mr. Kaiser or to myself, Mr. Schultes, to learn more about it. And I hope everybody's staying well and healthy and having a great year. Thanks for watching.